And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. You know what time it is. Another edition of That's a Bet podcast. But we got to do it big this time. It's Super Bowl style, Super Bowl 54. That's a Bet podcast. You know who it is, your boy. Two T's coming to you live from the Tap Studios. And I'm just, I'm so amped up and revved up for this big game. You got the Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. But y'all know I can't start the show without introducing the greatest co-host in all of the podcast land. Y'all know what I do. Some people call him Willie J. You know, I used to call him Willy Baby. But since he got a little one on the way, I gotta call him Willy Baby Baby. What's good with you, Willy Baby Baby?
Everything is good. I'm trying to stay sharp and follow the money. That's the motto. So I'm after them this week, trying to get the money, man.
Hey man, it's about to be fun, man. I'm excited. It's the Saturday, the pre-Super Bowl Saturday. This is probably like the most anticipated sporting event. It is the most anticipated sporting event of the year, Will. And real quick, I just want to kind of get your thoughts, man. How's it been for you with the build up? You know, have you kind of been staying away from it and gonna jump in late, or have you been studying it? Kind of like a lot of people, kind of stressing over the game a little bit. What's been your process, man?
For me, I've kind of stayed away from watching a lot of ESPN or NFL Network because it'll drain you if you sit there and watch it all week, really 2 weeks where they're talking about it on and on and on. So I just been binge watching TV shows on Showtime and Netflix and all that stuff, but then also doing some studying online, tuning in every now and then to some podcasts. But I kind of I've taken it in doses. I hadn't, been drinking from a fire hose per se, right? So did a little studying on my own, and now that the game is almost here, I feel good.
Gotcha, man. That's what's up. I've kind of been the same way. I've actually I literally have turned my TVs off, man. I cut my cord on cable one, so I really don't watch cable television like that anyway. But I found, especially leading up to a big event like this, like for instance, Will, have you guys heard of Mattress Mac? You've heard of that dude, Mattress Mac?
Yeah, he's from Houston. He's got a
Yeah,
few stores out here. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I know you've heard of him. You're out there, but it's ridiculous to me, man. He's out here making these $500,000 bets on, I think he laid the 49ers, I think it was, at plus 120, whatever the odds were. The books actually in Vegas gave him like his odds, like specifically for him. And then they tweeted out and they put it on all the big networks. Oh man, Matches Mac, he's at it again. And it's just crazy to me that how the media tries to drive you one direction, or even the books. I mean, why would they promote this guy this much? One, he wants that promotional, for his business. And instead of paying for $1 million commercial or $500,000 commercial, he just goes make a bet and they're going to
Right.
promote him, on everything. But isn't that kind of crazy, man, how the media kind of just tries to literally make one thing the most popular thing, almost to get you off of something that really has true value. I mean, it's crazy how it works, Will. So,
Absolutely.
um,
That's why you got to kind of,
yeah,
pick and choose the information you take in. So,
yep, yeah, I totally agree, man. And it's crazy to even just think about how they do that. But, Willie J, with that being said, man, I want to let's go ahead and do some housekeeping here, man. Let's let everybody know where they can follow you on social media, real quick.
Group 13 Sports, that's on Twitter and on Instagram. Group 13 Sports. I'll be posting pics all day today. So, and tomorrow. So,
Gotcha.
um, follow me.
All right, and you guys can follow me at Lockett2Ts. That's on Instagram and on Twitter. Also, guys, you can check me out too. Now, have started a new little thing, man. I call it Pineapple Picks, because the betting game is so sweet. So on my Twitter handle, I post free picks daily, man, on there. It's something I kind of started to start the new year, just to give. I feel like Robin Hood will. I want to give back to the people. I feel
Steal
like
from the books and give to the people.
and give to the people. You know what I'm saying? And so it's something I do on there, but it's only on Twitter. A lot of people on Instagram been asking me, "Hey man, where are your free picks at?" So I only do it on Twitter for the simple fact there are a lot less rules when it comes to like posting pics and all that kind of stuff. Instagram is some one person reports you on Instagram, they shut down your whole account. Whereas Twitter, you can kind of do your thing on there, man. So make sure you guys follow me. If you search Pineapple Picks on there, that's the handle that I'm under, or you can just search Lockett 2Ts, which is my Instagram and my Twitter actual handle there, so you guys can check me out. But yeah, Willie J, man, I'm excited. I'm ready to get into Super Bowl 54 down there where you from. You know what I'm saying? Down in Miami, where your people used to be at.
Yeah, my dad, he down there now, man.
Oh, your pops down there now? What he doing, man? He been at all the parties, huh?
Yeah, and he down there, he's making money too. He, of course, well, actually, I'm not gonna say that on TV or podcast. I'm gonna leave that alone. But he's down there
Okay.
trying to get to the money too. So
Oh, he trying to get to it. You know,
yeah,
we know. Look, we know it's in the blood. So
yeah,
y'all know what time it is, man. But
yeah.
it should be fun. Real quick, Will, what do you think? And this is just totally random. What color you think the Gatorade is gonna be, man?
With that situation, I like to roll with yellow because it's one of the most generic, and um, I just don't like. I don't like that bet, so it's hard for me. So I say, you know what? If I got to pick one, I see yellow probably the most out of everything. So I'll
Gotcha.
go with yellow.
For me, it was orange. I'm kind of in the same
Oh yeah,
vein, man.
orange too. Yeah, that's
They
another
try
one.
to push, it's crazy. They try to push in there. They're trying to push people to purple. They're trying to push people to red. They're trying to go like with this whole Miami color theme of Gatorade. But you guys got to remember, it's like Gatorade, when it comes down to it, they're going to send you their basic colors, that which guys are going to like and, has the best electrolytes with the taste and all that kind of stuff. So
Right.
that's what I look at. But yeah, I just want to get that out the way, man.
Yeah.
But all right, Willie J, let's go ahead and jump into this game, man. Super Bowl 54, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the San Francisco 49ers, Willie J. Currently, the line is sitting at 1.5. The Chiefs are laying 1.5 points. They're laying in that's a little short bed there, Will. Over under is 54 here, Willie J. Kind of interesting with that over there. It opened at 51 and a half. 51, excuse me, and it got all the way up to 55. Will now it kind of settled at 54. So I'm kind of anxious to see what you like with this game, man. And which ways you're leaning with this Super Bowl 54.
For me, this was an extremely tough game to kind of analyze and pick. Early on, when the matchups first started when they were first locked in, the Chiefs
Yep.
and the 49ers, I was leaning heavily towards the Chiefs, but then I sat down and I thought about it, and as more and more the time progressed, I kind of swung my feelings and thoughts, and I'm looking at San Francisco now, and I'm probably going to get involved with San Francisco, leaning them. Reason why I say that is because for me, this was the worst matchup that Kansas City could have, drawn out of all the teams that they were playing in the NFC, right?
Interesting.
Um, reason why I say that is the defensive front for San Francisco. They can, now that everybody's healthy, they can get pressure on Patty Mahomes with just the D line, right?
Okay. Yep.
So if they're only getting pressure with the D line, they can drop more guys in coverage. They have fast linebackers that can, you know, assist with guarding Travis Kelce, who's probably the biggest threat in that receiving core for Kansas City. And if that's the case, you're getting pressure on Patty Mahomes, dropping guys back in coverage. It makes it a little bit harder to pass.
Mm.
Patty Mahomes is the best player in the league, but I think this will be a game where he doesn't go crazy throwing the football. And then to assist or correlate the defense, San Francisco can run the football. Kansas City at best all year has been average. They've gotten a little bit better as far as defending the run, but I think this is a game where you have to limit Kansas City's number of times they possess the football. So you
Mm.
drain the clock because if you keep giving them chances, or if it's Barry Bonds, you keep
Yeah.
giving him at bats, he's going to hit a home run, right? So very important for San Francisco to run the football, drain the clock, limit the opportunities for Patty Mahomes and company, and then special teams. San Francisco better kick the ball out of bounds or deep every time so it's a touchback, because you don't want Mecole Hardman taking the kickoff back, and you better punt it high because Tyreek Hill's returning punts this week, right? So you don't
Ooh.
want to get gassed in the special teams game. I think if San Francisco can do that, don't turn the football over, run it. I like San Francisco in this spot. You can take it with the points, but um, if you don't want to pay that vig or juice is what we call it,
Yeah.
just take them in the money line. The spread is so short to the point where you might as well just take the money line and not pay anything. You're also getting plus money. So overall, I wouldn't be surprised if Kansas City won. But
Yeah.
for me, when I look at Super Bowls over the last, 20, 25 years, it seems to me most of the time the defense is what rises to the occasion, right? So
Mm.
in this spot, I like San Francisco and their defense to limit Kansas City enough, maybe turn them over once or twice and win the football game.
Interesting, man. It's crazy how similar me and Willie J think as far as a lot of these games. Well, I think an X factor in the game, and Will kind of mentioned it. I think Tyreek Hill getting back to return punts is going to be something of significance. But Will, I actually think it's going to actually affect the Chiefs. If you really think about it, man, Will, you know you're a special teams guy. You've always returned kicks, returned punts. That's what you do, right? I mean, you out there. Over the season, you get in the rhythm. You kind of get used to it. I don't know if you've been on a team to where maybe Will, you got banged up and they had to put in the other guy. They made it put in, you're the best athlete outside of you back there to return a kick. Yes, he's a great athlete, but Will, you can attest to this as a punt returner, kick returner. You have the number one thing to do is the what?
Catch the football.
Catch the football, exactly. And I've seen it at times. I think it was earlier this year. It might have been in the playoffs. I forgot who they put back there. I don't know if it was a Green Bay game or it might have been a Chiefs game where Tyreek Hill actually, I don't know if he muffed one or something happened where he was trying to make a play and he fumbled. I can't remember the game.
He did. That was in the Texans game.
Yeah, exactly.
Deep in their territory.
Yeah,
that's why they
down.
got up so quick on him like that.
Exactly, and that's my point. Is normally Miko Hardman's back there, or I think it was another cat that was back there as well. But you throw a guy like that back there in the biggest stage in the world, I think that could be a disaster.
And his hands are already kind of shaky. He played running back in college, so I mean his hands are okay, but he will drop them.
Exactly, and that leads me to my point of I'm heavily leaning the 49ers as well here, Will. I definitely, people ask me beginning of the week, hey, who you liking? I was all over the Chiefs. I really liked it when it first opened because I was still kind of drunk off of the high scoring affair with Tennessee, with the Texans game. You kind of get caught up in all that offense. But the more and more I studied it, man, and you know me, Will, I'm a defensive guy, defensive lineman. That front seven has a lot to do with everything in those games. I go back to the Patriots versus the Giants scenarios. Patriots undefeated, going to the game against Strahan and Eli and those boys. That NASCAR package for the Giants with Strahan, you had Justin Tuck, you had Pierre Paul, Umanure. I look at that same type of front four, for the 49ers. You got Bosa, you got Thomas, you got Buckner. You got my man on the other side. I always forget the other DN that they have over there. Then you add in Quan Alexander, and Warner.
D Ford is the other.
D Ford. Yep. Yeah. D Ford. Exactly. I mean, you put those guys out there, and I know the Chiefs' offensive line is a lot better than what the 49ers have seen so far in the playoffs, but there's something to be said about four guys that can get after the quarterback. Patrick Mahomes is a little bit more mobile, but at the end of the day, Will, I think this number is where it's at for a reason. I think Vegas truly feels like this game can go either way, and it's truly going to come down to, I think, four plays. These are the 4 plays I think is going to be, Will. End of the half, can somebody get a stop or get a score that can swing the game as far as whoever wins the toss? Secondly, which defensive line can have the other quarterback at least throw one interception or get a strip sack? I think that's going to be number 2. Number 3, I think it's going to come down to who can just methodically be able to come down the field. A lot of times guys in the Super Bowl think they have to make the big play. Let's make the big wow, splash play. These coaches are going to be calling these trick plays, what's going on. But who can actually kind of calm himself, make the short throws, move the chains, keep a defense out there a little bit longer. It's going to be Miami. It's going to be a little bit hot, Will. So, they may be needing IVs, that type of stuff. And lastly, 4th is going to be which defensive front in a must-stop situation, whether it's a 4th down conversion of teams trying to get Chiefs or 49ers, which team can get that stop? And you ask yourself that question, I think 3 out of 4 of those, I think the 49ers have an advantage, Will. So when I come back and look at the line with there, I really have a heavy lean to the 49ers here at the +1.5. And I think something has to be said about Jimmy G. I know everybody's talking about him not throwing, Will, but let's be honest, Will. Okay.
He didn't have to.
He really didn't. Just think, you're a basketball player. If you're a basketball player and you're right-handed, you're going right. They're not stopping you going right. Why would you go left? Okay. Unless they shade you to the left and force you to go left. But you're a pro, so you still have a left hand. It's not like you don't have a left hand. It's just,
Right.
why should I go there? I'm gonna go take the easy route.
And to that point, well, go ahead, finish your
No, go
point.
ahead. No, you got it. Go ahead.
And to that point, Jimmy G has performed extremely well in shootout situations. Take a look at the
Yep.
Saints game.
Yep.
There's another game where he played. Oh, take a look at the Seahawks game. They leaned on him at the end of the year to make plays in that game. He can make plays if he needs to.
Yep. He damn sure can. And people don't talk about this a lot, but Emmanuel Sanders is finally fully healthy with that rib injury. And to me, E. Sanders has been there, played in the game with Peyton Manning against Carolina. He's been in the Super Bowl. I mean, Tevin Coleman's been there, and of course they lost. Shanahan's been there. I think it's something to be said about Kyle Shanahan and his relationship with his dad as well too. I think that's going to be a factor. Just managing the game as a head coach. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You know how we feel about Andy Reid. He's a monster off of bye weeks, but he's shown time and time again that he will nut up in the big game, especially Super Bowls.
Clock management is awful.
Exactly. So with that being said, guys, I'm a heavy lean to the 49ers plus 1.5. And personally, I just don't see why everybody's so, going crazy over the Chiefs. Oh, you know what? Well, I do see, because they have Patrick Mahomes, and everybody's blinded by the fact Patrick Mahomes can't throw to himself. He can't do everything. Of course, he's a quarterback. He's going to touch it every play. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a lot of the pieces and parts that I think that O-line is going to break down at some point. So as far as the spread, Will, I'm leaning. We're both on the 49ers. You got what you thinking about on the over-under in this game?
That's a tough one. I can see it going either way, but being
Yeah.
that I think San Francisco is going to win, I think this game stays under.
Yep.
And so I think, like you said, just going back to the game a little bit,
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is the best player on the field. He's the best player in the NFL, in my opinion. But when you look at these rosters next to each other, from top to bottom, San Francisco has the better team. Kansas City just has the best player. And in a Super Bowl, you see defenses, we talked about this earlier, you see defenses tend to rise up to the occasion and play well and
Yeah.
limit the other offenses in a sense. Going back to what you said,
Yep.
being drunk off what the Chiefs had done, whether you believe it or not, I mean, people that are listening, we know this game
Yeah.
opened at a pick 'em, right?
Sure did.
So Vegas didn't, or the odds makers didn't know which way this game was going to go, and now it's up to 1.5 for the Chiefs. That is the public pouring money on the Chiefs. I think what's going to end up happening by Sunday is that it might swing back to maybe a pick 'em or maybe a half a point Kansas City, because I think the start of the sharp money is going to come in on San Francisco. But my point is, the Super Bowl is the biggest game in the country or in the world every year, right?
Yep.
So you get a lot of people that come in. Shoot, my grandma gonna watch the game. She don't watch football all year, but she gonna watch this one, right? Everybody watches this. Bob, the doctor in Iowa, he's gonna watch this game and probably bet on it too.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna bet the Chiefs because the Chiefs are pumped up to the extreme with the media and on TV, right?
Yep.
So that's part of the reason why I kind of laid off the media these last couple of weeks, because I don't want it to poison my mind on what my eyes and what my heart is actually telling me when I look at these numbers, right? So
Yeah.
this is a strong contrarian play to fade the public as well. Everybody and their mamas on the Chiefs. Okay, I'm going to roll with the 49ers and just get involved on that side and see what happens.
Got you. And for me, man, over-under for me is, I love the under, but personally, my betting gut, I have to just take the over for the simple fact, if the Chiefs for some reason do get down again, I think they have the wherewithal to come back that may drive it barely over that 54. I mean, I could see a 34-31 game, 49ers, something weird like that. Now, I do tell you guys, the value play is the under in this situation, just because of how the line movement has been. But overall, I think the over for me is what I'm going to play. Obviously, I'm going to in-game a lot this game to try to hedge it. So
that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, just to watch it and kind of see how the game flow is. Because, man, Super Bowls, people are going to start out. I mean, they're pros, but everybody gets nerves. Everybody's watching. So it's going to be a lot of stuff, man. It's not your normal routine. So, kind of see how the game flow goes, and then we'll kind of rock from there. So, all right, Willie J. Let's jump into something that a lot of people are interested in. The best props for Super Bowl 54, Will. I know me and you talked about this before we were actually getting on the show, man. And it's so many props out here. Like there's props about everything. Whether or not what's the color of the Gatorade, the coin toss, all the way down to will there be a field goal or a touchdown scored last in the game. So there's all kind of props for this game, like over like 5,000 different props on the books here, Will. So Will, let me see for you. Give me two props to start that you really like in this game as we head into Super Bowl 54.
Okay, so the first two that I like, I'm making it the Damian Williams show, right? Um,
Ooh,
and I'm going to be locked in and involved with Damian Williams early on. First one, I like him over his receiving yards at 27 and a half at
I
minus
like it.
110 odds, right?
I like
Um,
it.
I don't think the Chiefs are going to be able to run the ball on that San Francisco defensive front. They do a great job stopping the run. Um, and we know, as of late, recently as well, um, Damian Williams has been heavily involved in the Kansas City Chiefs passing attack. Seems like every time I see Patrick Mahomes dumping it out to the, out
Yeah,
wide or, trying to beat the blitz or whatever, he's throwing it to Damian Williams and Damian Williams is, catching touchdowns, right?
yeah,
Um, I think that that's going to be key for Mahomes with the pressure that this defensive front for the Niners can get on him. He's going to have to check it down a lot more than he's comfortable with. And so I think Damian Williams should easily be able to go over
yeah.
27 and a half receiving yards.
Okay.
And then for the second one, it's a correlation with this. I'm going to take the under 54 and a half rushing yards for Damian Williams.
Mm,
Now, reason why I say that, just think about this. Williams has only rushed for 498 yards all season long.
yeah.
He's been the guy, don't get me wrong, he's been the guy for Kansas City as far as getting the most snaps at running back this last part of the year. But over the 18 games that they played this year, this is the regular season and the playoffs,
Yep.
he's only rushed for over 54 yards four times out of 18
Wow.
games. Four
Wow.
times. And I don't think you can run the ball on San Francisco like that anyway, right?
Okay.
So I'm going to take the under 54 and a half rushing yards for Damian Williams.
Ooh, interesting there. Okay, Will, attacking since you're attacking Damien, let me go ahead and have my person that I'm attacking in this game.
Okay.
And that's E Money, Emmanuel Sanders.
Okay.
I really think Emmanuel Sanders is going to play a integral part in this game here, Will. And with that being said, and because this kind of goes into my whole aspect of I think Jimmy G is being undervalued as far as his arm. So for me, one of my best props is Emmanuel Sanders will over his total receiving yards, which is 41 and a half. That's at minus 153. So it's, right there. Juice isn't too crazy there. I think E. Sanders here gets loose. He's played in this game. He's caught big catches, in Super Bowls before. And I think he gets over that 41 and a half receiving yards. That's Emmanuel Sanders. Also, staying with Emmanuel Sanders, if he's getting over 41 and a half receiving yards, I definitely think he gets over his reception total. His reception total actually opened, Will, at 2.5. It's actually been bet up to 3.5 here now. So I think he gets 4 catches. I mean, what's that? 10 yards a pop, 4 catches. That's a catch a quarter for a first down. I mean, you do the math on that. And that's sitting at minus 112 right now. To me, I think that's probably one of the easiest bets. I think Jimmy G is going to lean on him because he does have experience in the Super Bowl. And why did they trade for this guy? For this moment. You know what I mean? Experienced receiver, big time games, Emmanuel Sanders over his 2 props there. So, all right, Willie J. Give me 2 more of your favorite props leading into the game, man.
All right, so the next one that just caught my eye when I was looking at everything is the sack total. It's 4.5. Oh, I'm taking over 4.5 for both teams
Ooh,
combined for the sack total
okay.
at minus 120 odds. So I'm willing to lay the 20 cents here. And the reason why I'm willing to lay that 20 cents, when you look at San Francisco's defensive line, I'm just going to name a few of them. You got Nicky Bosa,
Okay.
Eric Armstead, DeForest Buckner, D Ford, and Solomon Thomas.
Wow.
And then for Kansas City, I'm just going to name 3 of them. Frank Clark, Chris Jones, and T. Sizzle, who's back in the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
I think between those guys, you can get over 4.5 sacks. That's too many horses, right? Too many horses in the stable, they're going to make plays. So I love the over 4.5 sacks, laying the 20 cents at minus 20 or
Mm,
120, right?
okay.
And then my next one, this is probably one that I'm on the opposite side of the public on this. Just so you know, guys, a sharp angle with all these props, especially when you take a look at them early on, all
Yeah.
of these props are shaded to the under. And the reason why I say that is these books know that mostly everybody that comes in is going to bet over. That's
Yep.
just typically how the public bets. They rather cheer for a bet than to cheer against a bet, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to roll with Travis Kelsey under 75.5 receiving yards. Now,
Mm.
let me talk about why I'm doing that. Well, the odds are at minus 110, so I think those are good odds for that. But I think in the passing game, Travis Kelsey, we talked about this earlier, he's the focal point of this Chiefs passing attack. I think if you can stop him, you can kind of slow them down across the board. But it
Yeah.
starts with him because he's in the middle of the field. When you
Yeah.
look at San Francisco, they've got fast linebackers, Quan Alexander and company, and then you've got Richard Sherman. The biggest issue with Travis Kelsey is that he's too big for regular corners and
Mm-hmm.
safeties, but then he's a little bit too he's got a lot of receiving and wiggling in him as far as being a wide receiver where linebackers can't cover him. He can run routes, he can catch the football, right? So it's
Yep.
just a mismatch. Don't be surprised if you see San Francisco for at least half of the time put Richard Sherman in the slot on Travis Kelsey or have him trail him a little bit. I
Yeah.
think Sherman has enough size to be able to play Kelsey over the middle. I know he's a zone guy, but I think he'll be up to the task. He's very smart and instinctive as a player, so I
Yeah.
can see that happening. And then Quan Alexander, he can run with Travis Kelsey as well. So I think that with the defensive line for San Francisco putting pressure on Patty Mahomes, who have to get rid of it quick, and then when you look at Travis Kelsey being stopped or limited by the guys I just talked about,
Yeah.
then I can see San Francisco doubling Tyreek Hill and say, look, just don't get beat. Double this guy. Put a safety over the top. And let's force Mecole Hardman and Demarcus Robinson and guys like that to beat us, right?
Yeah.
So I think they're going to focus on Travis Kelsey, and I expect him to go under 75.5 receiving yards.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Look, Willie J giving us them dime. He dropping gems and dimes on everybody. All right, Will, for me, two more of my best bets I think I really like here. Um, one goes to the interception or incompletion. Will Patrick Mahomes' first pass be a incompletion or an interception? I actually like that. Yes, it will be an incompletion. I think his first pass will be incomplete. This goes back to these past two games where his receivers kind of started the game a little nervous, a little shaky. We talked about Tyreek Hill's hands. I can see Andy Reid trying to take a shot, first play of the game, play action, something like that, just to kind of break the ice a little bit here. So that is sitting at plus 167 here. So that's pretty good odds there. I like that, man. I may put some pizza money on that, Will, as they say, on that one. Also here too, this is probably going to be my largest prop bet that I do, Will. Jimmy Garoppolo total pass completions.
Mm.
I think he completes over 18 and a half passes, Will. Um, I really truly think that the Chiefs are going to load the box and they're gonna say Jimmy G beat us. And I think Jimmy G ultimately will end up beating them if they truly do that. Their Chief secondary is nothing that's spectacular. Obviously, Tyrann Mathieu is a force to be reckoned with. He's all over the field. But normally you see Tyrann Mathieu coming down and doing what? He's usually guarding the tight ends.
Right.
Those slot guys. And with Kittle there, I think he's going to be focused on them. And he's not going to be on Manuel Sanders, Debo Samuels, or Kendrick Bourne out there on the outside. So I really love Jimmy G over 18 and a half completions. That's at minus 153 there, laying that. And one more quick one for you, Will. George Kittle. There's been a lot of talk about him. Everybody's hyping him up, and we're talking about like the tight ends with Kelsey. I think George Kittle in this game, receiving yards, everybody is taking the under on him. I've been hearing a lot. Excuse me, a lot of people are taking the over. Excuse me, I said that backwards. But I personally think he goes under as well. Same type of scenario with Travis Kelsey will. I think Tyrann Mathieu is going to shadow Kittle. I think they're going to say, hey, take him away, have Jimmy and those receivers on the outside beat us, and we can roll with it. So in this scenario, I like the under 68 and a half yards for George Kittle here. I think it's going to be tight because if the Chiefs get up a little bit, they're going to have to throw it. And that one's currently sitting at, I think it is, what is it at? Plus 160 on that one. So it's not too bad to take the under because the over in that scenario is minus 180. So, yep, I like that there. Now, Will, let's get a little weird, man. I want you to tell me some of your off the wall props here. You got any weird ones that you kind of caught that was just like, what? That you like?
Um, I got one that I personally like. So the jersey number of the first player to score a TD
Mm,
under 26 and a half at minus 110 odds. Um, if you look at these props, you can bet on individual players, but I
yeah.
like this one because you got both quarterbacks who have, number 15 and number 10. That's under 26 and a half, right?
Yep.
LaShawn McCoy is number 25. Damian Williams is 26. The receivers, Tyreek Hill is number 10. Demarcus Robinson is number 11. Sammy Watkins, number 14. Mecole Hardman, number 17. So you got a lot of team numbers on Kansas City's side, right?
Yeah.
So I like that, right? So I'm going to roll with that one. That's the first one. I got a couple
Okay.
more. I
Okay.
wouldn't necessarily call these too weird, but they're not normal from what we normally bet, right?
Got you. Yeah.
Um,
Not really a
short,
part of the game.
right?
Yeah.
Shortest TD in the game.
Okay. Okay.
I'm saying that it's going to be over 1.5 yards at plus 120 odds. I just like the odds on that. The reason why I say that, both of these teams are well coached schematically, and they also have explosive players. So I think there'll be explosive touchdowns from at least 2 yards out, right?
Okay.
Um, Long runs, long catches. And so I'll go ahead and take my chances on that and get involved in that sense. And then the last one, will there be a roughing the passer penalty? Yes,
Ooh. Okay.
at minus 120 odds. I think with Patrick Mahomes and company, they don't really like to run the ball anyway. They pass it a lot. I think there will be plenty of opportunities with the way the 49ers play on defense, with the ferocity that they play with. I
Yep.
think there will be plenty of opportunities for them to rough the passer. And then as well as Chris Jones and Frank Clark and company on Kansas City, I think they'll be trying to get to Jimmy G and could possibly, hit him on top of the head with those long arms with Chris Jones, anything, right? So
Yeah.
I'm going to take the roughing the passer penalty as well.
Okay. All right. So now for me, man, I got three kind of weird ones here. I do want to give you guys my Gatorade color prediction here. I think it's going to be orange here, Will. So will the Gatorade bath be orange? Yes, I think yes. And it's at plus 496 here as far as odds, which is it's third behind, I think it's purple and the red. And then we have orange, yellow, blue was also following as well. Another one I really like here, Will. Let's go halftime, man. We got to talk about J Lo and Shakira.
Oh yeah.
So everybody's been talking about will one show cleavage? Will both show cleavage? Will neither show cleavage? I'm on the side of both. I think both of them. You're in Miami. You know how they do, man. They always have outfits that are raunchy. Whether it's the first outfit, at some point they're gonna have a change where they're gonna both be showing it. So I pick yes, both of them will show cleavage. Minus 220 on that one. A lot of juice, but I'll eat that one. I think that one is probably a no brainer here. And lastly, here, Will, this is one I
Mm.
really like. Mike, how many times will Fox show Mike Shanahan during the game?
Oh
I
man, that's
saw
a
that
good
one.
one.
You know
That's
what
a
I mean?
good
With
one.
Kyle Shanahan, they're going to be talking about, he's with the Falcons. He came back. Now he's with the 49ers. I've heard a lot of media people talking about how much his dad really helping him out, with this game. Has he given him advice? So I think a couple times throughout the game, especially if, say, they're running the ball real good, they're going to say, oh, well, this Shanahan running offense, his dad ran it just like that. Whoop, cut to him. So is it over, under 1.5? I pick over. I think they show him at least twice in this one, especially Will, if we think the 49ers are going to possibly win this game and we
Right.
like them to cover. If they're up in the game, they have a chance to win, especially at the end of the game. They probably show them 5 times if they're about to win the Super Bowl. So that juice is minus 172 for that one. So over 1.5, the amount of times they will show Mike Shanahan, who is Kyle Shanahan, the coach of the 49ers dad, on TV during the game. So for me, those are my three kind of off the wall ones that I really like. And I got to give one last one. Will. It was one that I really wanted to get. I really liked. So the last score in the game right now in the Super Bowl 54, will it be a field goal or a safety? I pick yes that it will be a field goal or safety. Odds are at plus 152 on that. I really think that's going to hit, man. I think it could be a 31-31 game. Somebody kick a field goal. Or say the Chiefs or the 49ers are up 7. They're running the clock out. They kick a field goal, to put them up late with a minute left. I just think the scenarios of how this game is going to play out, I don't think it's going to end with a touchdown at the end, because I think fourth quarter is going to be a lot of ball control, clock type of stuff. So I really like that. So that's field goal or safety as the last score of the game. Yes, at plus 152 on that one. So, Will, you got any last bets or props that you
Yeah,
really like? Okay.
I got one more. I had it in my notes, and I don't know why I didn't say this one. This one seems pretty simple to me, and
Okay.
I think can cash. Will the game be tied after 0-0? Pretty simple. We're literally just cheering for the game to be tied at any point during the game.
Yep.
Maybe 7-7, 3-3, 10-10, whatever. Um, the odds are only -110. I think this could easily happen. So game tied after zeros, after 0-0. Yes, I'm taking that.
Oh, I like that. You know what? I might have to jump on that, man. I got to see if they got it on my book here, but yeah, Willie J, man, this gonna be fun. I think the prop side of the Super Bowl actually gets everybody more involved in it. You know, because you got people that don't normally bet can bet on. I mean, guys, you can bet on the coin toss, like we said. You can bet on the Gatorade. You can bet on cleavage. You can bet on how long of a score there is, how many passing yards, completion. So it's a lot you can do. But man, I'm excited for Super Bowl 54. Will. I just really want to see a great game. Let's not see a low scoring game like the Pats Rams last year here in Atlanta.
Right.
I want to see some action, man. I think it's going to be hot down in Miami, in the 60s, low 70s here, perfect weather. So it should be a great game. So any last thoughts or feelings you want to put out there, man, about this game?
Yeah, especially with the props. I've done it in the past and got burned. Guys, be careful with what you're betting, or how many bets you're putting in. If you're, a recreational bettor, stick your toe in the water. Don't dive in head first. I'm
Yeah.
telling you right now, if you do 10, 15 props, you're going to get ate alive by the juice and you won't make any money, right? So
Yep.
be careful, pick and choose your spots, and let's get the money this week.
Yeah, man. Will, you kind of you stole my thunder, man. I literally was going to tell people with the Super Bowl, don't get caught up in the glitz and glamour, how big everything is, and say, hey, man, I got $500. I'm going to put it on the Chiefs. Or I got $500. I'm going to put it on the 49ers. Or, hey, I got $1,000, man, on the made. I'm trying to double and triple up. No, you got to be smart. $10 plays, $5 plays are okay. If you want to bet 10 props, $10 a piece or $20 max, just because those are fun, just off the wall stuff. A lot of this stuff these guys just dream up in Vegas and just to make it fun. So a lot of this stuff isn't meant to hit. If it hits, it's literally like a crapshoot. So just remember that when you're playing, and also too, don't make any stupid bets at your Super Bowl parties, please. Don't get caught up. Don't get a couple drinks in you and all of a sudden get, this liquid courage. Will and want to be out there talking about I got 500 on the 49ers. Man,
Who
Patrick
won it?
Mahomes, who won it? Anybody, man, people will eat you alive. So just be calm, cool. I literally on Super Bowl games, I try to keep my wallet at home. Like if I'm going somewhere, or I just bring my license, whatever I need to get there, because I'm not betting nothing. Delete your Cash App, all your little apps where you can send money. Because if you got to load up to bet it, then you got a problem. Then you need to call what's it 1-800 gambling problem, whatever that hotline is. Then you need to call that.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Um,
whoa, no, 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 no. Call me and bet with me. I need some more
yes,
money. So bet
exactly.
bet with me.
Call Willie J, man. He will definitely jump in. You can jump in with him. So, but yeah, with that being said, Will, I'm excited for it, man. And oh, hold on, Will. Oh, there go that track, man. There go that music, man. We ain't heard it in a while. So Willie J, go take us home, man.
Man, let's get to the money this week with the Super Bowl. And remember, if you see a bet, make a bet. That's a bet.
Hey, that's a bet. Hey, it's Willie Baby, aka Willie J, man. I'm 2T's. This has been another edition of That's a Bet podcast, Super Bowl edition, Super Bowl 54. You guys bet responsibly this week, this Sunday, man. Have fun, and we'll see you guys. Maybe next year we may do some basketball stuff, man. But we'll see you guys next year for sure for our NFL podcast, man. And we appreciate everybody with the support. Remember, subscribe, like, and comment to everything we do. Hey, you show us love, man. We're always gonna show it right back. So we'll see you guys, man. Take it easy. Peace.